You know, race cars are some of the most advanced machines on the entire planet. But what if I told you their biggest engineering secrets aren't found in a supercomputer or a wind tunnel, but out in the ocean or way up in the sky? Today, we're going to dive into biomimetics and see how nature's oldest and most brilliant ideas are making modern race cars faster, stronger, and a whole lot smarter.
So let's just kick things off with a question that sounds, well, a little crazy. What on earth could a 40-ton humpback whale possibly have in common with a super lightweight Formula One car? I know, it sounds impossible, but the connection isn't just surprising. It's a perfect example of nature's hidden genius, hiding right there in plain sight.
And the secret is ultimate grip. You see those strange bumps on the whale's fins? They're called tubercles, and they allow that massive animal to carve incredibly tight turns in the water. Well, some very clever engineers realize those bumps keep the water flowing smoothly, preventing any loss of control. So they applied that same design to an F1 wing, and the result is massive downforce and insane grip, even at the most extreme angles.
Now, this whole approach has a name. It's called biomimetics, and it's really a simple but incredibly powerful idea. It's about looking at the natural world as the ultimate research and development lab. I mean, think about it. It's been running trial and error tests for millions and millions of years, and only the absolute best, most efficient designs actually survive.
Okay, so where else do we see this in action? Well, in motorsport, the biggest fight has always been against the air, that invisible force that's constantly trying to slow you down. So let's take a look at how engineers are getting a serious edge by learning from nature's absolute masters of flying and swimming. Once you start looking, you see these solutions everywhere. Take sharks, for instance. Their skin isn't smooth at all. It's covered in these tiny, grooved scales that actually reduce drag. Then, of course, we've got the whale's high-grip fins we just talked about, and up in the sky, you have the peregrine falcon. Its entire body is just a masterclass in what we call active aerodynamics. Let's stick with that falcon for a second, because this is amazing. This bird isn't just streamlined, it actually changes the shape of its body in the middle of a dive to get the perfect attack. That ability to change its form on the fly, that's the direct inspiration for Formula One's drag reduction system, DRS, where the wing opens up on the straights to slash drag and get more top speed.
And just how fast are we talking about here? In a dive, a peregrine falcon can hit speeds of 390 kilometers per hour. That is just an insane level of performance, and that is exactly the kind of efficiency that engineers are desperately trying to copy.
But all that speed means nothing without strength and safety, right? The next huge challenge is building a car that's impossibly light but also incredibly strong. And, you guessed it, nature already has the blueprints for that too. You can literally trace the evolution of this idea. It starts with something like an insect's exoskeleton, a tough, super light natural material. Then, if you look inside, you'll often find a honeycomb pattern. That hexagonal shape gives you incredible strength with the least amount of material. And that exact principle led directly to the design of the carbon fiber monocoque, the survival cell that protects every single F1 driver. And the inspiration just keeps coming. Think about bird bones. They're hollow, but they're reinforced with these internal struts for maximum strength with minimum weight. Or even crazier, the woodpecker's skull. It's a marvel of shock absorption that can handle repeated hits of over 1,200 Gs. If you want a lesson in crash safety design, look no further. So a car can be fast, it can be strong, but a race often comes down to strategy. And it turns out, the animal kingdom also offers a masterclass in tactics. It's like a predator's playbook, but for the racetrack. I mean, just look at this. The comparison between a leopard's hunt and a perfect overtake on track is just uncanny. A driver, just like a predator, first assesses the target, looking for a weakness. Then comes the strategic positioning, setting up the pass perfectly. And finally, that decisive move that requires split-second timing. It's the exact same kind of calculated aggression. These strategic lessons are literally everywhere. The way a school of fish drafts off each other, that's a perfect model for energy conservation in a slipstream. A cheetah's sprint and recover hunting style, well, that's basically a blueprint for how to deploy and regenerate hybrid energy. Even honeybees and their swarm intelligence can inspire better team communication and data sharing. So you might be wondering, does all this inspiration actually work on the track? Let's go back to those shark skin surfaces. Applying that micro-grooved tech to a race car can reduce aerodynamic drag by up to 8%. 8%. This isn't just some cool theory. Biomimetics delivers real, tangible race-winning performance. So if today's tech is already giving us gains like that, you have to ask, what's next? Because if we keep looking to nature for the answers, the future of motorsport
is going to look a lot like science fiction.
Okay, get ready for this because some of these ideas are just wild. We're talking about tires inspired by gecko feet that literally stick to the road using molecular forces. Self-cleaning surfaces modeled on the lotus leaf so that dirt never messes with your aerodynamics. Sensors that mimic an eagle's incredible vision. Or safety gear woven from materials based on spider silk, which is, pound for pound, stronger than steel. The potential here is just staggering.
You know, it really all comes down to a simple truth. Nature has already done all the hard work for us. It's run the simulations, performed the stress tests, and perfected its designs over millions of years. This quote just says it perfectly. Evolution represents the ultimate research and development process, where only the most efficient solutions survive. We just have to be smart enough to look. The thing is, we're really just beginning to translate nature's language into the language of engineering. It just makes you wonder, after all this time, all this R&D, what other incredible secrets is the natural world just waiting for us to discover?